Hello, decoy carvers. My name is Dave Spear, and this is part 4 of a series of videos that shows you how you can create and modify decoy carving patterns on your computer. Now, if you haven't watched the other 3 videos, you should probably back up and watch them now so that you can follow along with where we're at. Now, once again, don't forget to view this in full screen so that you can see everything I'm doing without it looking blurry. Now, in the last video, we created the top profile to match the side profile of this widget, and it honestly looks terrible. And I realized after I did it, the reason it looks terrible is because I've used a life-size body width without using a life-size body length. So if I show my guides, Control-Shift-T, I can actually measure the distance between the tail and the breast. So I've gone to the measure tool using Shift M. I hit the control button so I get a straight line, click and drag, snap to my guide there, and I can see that my widget is 23.44 inches long. And in reality, according to Bruce Burke's wonderful book that I said might have the wrong measurements, and I was totally wrong, it should be 13 inches. So let's scale this image to be 13 inches so that everything we do can match up right. So I know I'm 23.44 inches and I know I need to be 13 inches. So if I pull up a calculator, I can divide 23.44 by 13. And I know that well, let's go the other direction. Let's divide 13 by 23.44. Okay, I need to reduce this to 55.4% of what it is now, or 55.5%. So I showed you earlier how to go up to the image and mess with the canvas size. In other words, the space around the image. But what I want to do now is I want to scale the image. It's a similar concept, but it's actually going to resize everything. And I could choose to be a certain number of inches wide, but I don't know how many inches are on either side of my duck. I already know that I have to move it to 55.5%. So if I hit this drop down here, I can go to percent and I go 55.5. If I click in this other box, it's going to match it. And you say it's 55.51, 55.50. Some reason you can't always get these to match, but that's all right. And I'm going to go ahead and hit scale. Okay, now my image is scaled and it's much smaller. And now if I zoom in and measure once again, just to make sure, control, snap to guide here and measure, my distance now is 13.01 inches, which is what I need it to be. So let's see how wide this body is now that I've scaled it. The body's only 3 inches wide. Well, that's why it looks terrible. So let's fix that. Let's hit escape to get rid of this. Let's go ahead and delete this layer. Remember, I've got the path. I never want to delete the path. Let's delete this layer, body top copy. Delete, body top, delete layer. Okay, we've got rid of those. We've got our guides here. We've got our path. Let's go back and select our top view and view it. And this, we know this guide here is not right. So if you click on the move tool or hit M, and say pick a layer or guide and hover, it'll turn red and you can just drag it off the picture and it'll disappear. There's another way to get rid of all of our guides, but I don't want to get rid of all of them right now. So we just got rid of that one. So let's go back to the measure tool, Shift M. Let's click on this guide and measure by holding down the control key. Let's measure half of 5 1/4, which is what, 2.5 plus an eighth. So let's see, let's go 2.5, and it's going to be 2.625. 2.63 is close enough. So once again, I can drop a guide here by hitting Control and clicking the mouse key, and it didn't seem to do what I want to do. Sometimes that happens, I don't understand. Let's go again. Hit the escape key, go up to this line, Control to get it on a straight line. Let's drag it down to 2.625 again. Hit Control click, and there's my guide. All right, let's go back to the Bezier tool or the path tool by clicking B for Bezier. Let's select the top view here, and now let's bring this thing down and match it. That is starting to look much more widgeon-like. In fact, I can tell now that my tail was a little thin, and I can make that a little wider as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to stroke this path again by right-clicking on the path. Say stroke path, 3 pixels. Actually, before I do that, let's create a layer, because if I stroke now, I'm going to stroke it on this side layer, and I want to keep them separate so I can flip it. So let's say body top. Oh, it was already named body top. Well, I didn't even notice. All right, so let's go ahead and stroke the path. 3 pixels. Okay, let's deselect the eyeball here so that I can just see that. I'm going to hide my guides. I'm not going to delete them. Control-Shift-T will hide my guides. If you don't remember that, it's up here on the view guides or show guides, Control-Shift-T. So once again, I'm going to go duplicate this layer. I'm going to flip it using the reverse tool in the vertical direction. I'm going to move it, click M, and I'm going to choose move the active layer. I'm going to move this thing down, watching the numbers again on the bottom so that I'm 0.00 in one dimension. I'm going to get it close. I'm going to let go of the mouse key. I'm going to zoom in a little bit using the plus key, and then using the up and down arrows, I'm going to match these lines up. I'm just going to kind of go up and down until I find the skinniest line. Now I can zoom back out by hitting the minus key. And I'm overlapping the top view here a little bit, which I can fix. I'm going to show you how to move linked layers. So you can do this with paths as well. So I've got this top copy selected, and if I click next to the eyeballs another square, it's a little chain for a link. Now right now it's not linked to anything because it's the only one with a chain, but if I click on the body top and click on that and go to my move tool, now I can move the whole thing. And let's go ahead and get the 0 dimension again, or 0.00 on the bottom. Sometimes tough to do. And I'm going to leave it right there. So I've come off my screen or my image a little bit. So let's go ahead and increase the canvas size again. Image canvas size. Let's go back to pixels because I really don't know how many inches. And I'm just going to go ahead and add another 200 pixels of height. And this time it's showing that it wants to put the, oh, cancel. I made it too small. Let me hit cancel here. Image canvas size. Go to pixels. I want to add 200 pixels. So it was 732. Let's make it 932. And you can see it's going to give it to me on the bottom. Let's resize all layers. Resize. And there we go. You can now see that if we hide the widgeon, but select the white, and once again go to edit, fill with background color to fill that all with white. Now you can see my top and side profile are both visible. This is a lot closer to what the shape of a widgeon should be. If you wanted to do side pockets and flanks, that would be up to you. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off now, and in the next video we will start creating the head. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned in.